Welcome back to the LPR Trading Group YouTube channel. It's Dave again. I've got another video for you guys today on footprints. And what I want to do is I want to go through the trades that I took, and we'll put this bad boy here in a replay possibly, and we'll go through some of the trades. What I want to do is I'll pull up our Discord channel right now. And what we have here is we've got our members trades channel, and within this channel we have our members making threads of all their trades. So you can click on, someone's trading channel like Nadine right here, and you can see all of her trades here on the side. She talks about what she did, what she was looking for. I've got a channel set up for LPR single setup. So in May, what I'm doing is I've put together some rules for myself here. Okay, so I put some rules for myself, and I'm trading these rules at the end of every day. I'm posting my trades, I'm posting my journal entries, the charts with trade entries, exits, yada, yada, yada. So what I want to do is I actually want to go over the trades for today, which were these trades that I posted here. Okay, I'll pull this to the side as I already have a screen pulled up here. So these were my trades for today. You can see entries, exits. I took 3 trades, trade 1, 2, 3. Okay, these were the entries. I had 1 exit here. I tried to add into the trade. I stopped out of the trade. I tried it again. This is not a good trade. I was not happy with this one. It's fine. We took a small loss on it, got back into trade 3, and really let this thing run for a little bit to push to the upside, got final target, and we were out of the trade, done for the day around 10:30. Okay. So where did I take these trades and how did I take these trades? What I'll do here is I'll pull Sierra chart up. I will very simply go to the replay feature. I'm just doing this on the other screen here, so bear with me. I want to do all charts, and today is the 16th, so we'll change the date to the 16th right here. I'll start the replay feature from 9:29, and we'll slow down this speed just a little bit to start. We'll hit play. It's going to ask if I want to replay the data on all these charts in the layout. Yes, I do. So it's going to load up the Renko footprints. It's also going to load up all the other charts in the DOM on my other window, which is cool. And we'll just wait for this to load up. Here we go. So now we're at the open. If we can move this over, yep. Now we're at the open, 9:30. Market is opened. And we'll watch this play out. I'm going to put this here in about 5 or 6x speed. I'll make sure that we have this available as well, just so we can see sort of where my trades were taken. At this moment off the open, I was just really waiting for the price to iron itself out. We were looking at some areas. The major level that we were looking at, as you can see here, was 41.35.25. We were looking at 41.23, and I had an eye on this 41.31.50 area for possible trades. Okay, so the first time we got interested was when we got down to that 41.35 area. Now again, I'll say we don't want to just take a trade based on, oh, this is my level, I need to trade this. It needs to get down to that level. We need to see a reaction, and then we can take a trade off that. So we'll wait for price to iron itself out here a bit off the open. I didn't take this first trade until about 9:50. I didn't take that first trade until about 9:50, so we'll just try and click the fast forward button here. We'll look at how price irons itself out in these areas, and we'll see if it prints anything interesting for us, which, as of right now, it's not doing anything too wild. I want to show you guys sort of the full open, right? We can fast forward this. I don't want to just jump to the good stuff because I want you guys to see how price actually got to this area. There might be some key things to talk about as price is getting into this area, right? What we can see here is this is point of control on the day. So this is going to be an area where there's some interest, right? Whether it's for buyers or sellers. Buyers start reclaiming this a little bit. We want to see if they can continue to drive in this area. If they can continue to drive price to the upside, we'd possibly be looking for some longs depending on how rough we pull back here. Now, it's really important to watch. If I just slow this down a little bit, we'll go down to 4x speed. We can see that as buyers drove price to the upside, we had acceptance, acceptance, acceptance right? Buyers are trying to accept here, but you can see that the positive deltas are starting to peter off. They're not as strong up in this area, right? We can see that there isn't large aggression as price tried to push up here. It's actually slowing down a little bit. This doesn't mean just open short this area. This is just that little light bulb that goes off in your head, a little clue, a little area to remember, and that's it, right? To possibly use in the future as price plays itself out. Okay, so we've got this failed acceptance here. We continued to accept higher, and we can see the failed acceptance here. Now price gets this aggressive push down. What I'd be looking for in this area, I'll pause this so we can draw some stuff up. Tools, we'll pop out a rectangle. I would have this area marked right here. Why? This is the area that sellers really stepped in and started playing the game, right? Buyers were in control prior to that. Sellers wanted to step in and start playing the game here and getting really short, really hard after bids were trying to sit in here passively trying to hold price up. They couldn't. Sellers actually pushed through. So this would be an important area to know, okay, this is where sellers retook control of this move, right? So at this point, possibly any pushes back up into this area, we could continue to see a sell-off. It doesn't mean that we have to trade it. It just means that we're staying in tune with the current market condition for the day or maybe a week or a few hours or a month, whatever it is. We're trading back down into the point of control. We slice right through that thing. Mind you, we're on 4x speed, guys. Okay, I'm going to slow it down a little bit here to 2x speed. We're getting down into our 35.50 area. We're now currently trading below our 35.50 area. So we're trading below the 35.50 area, right? That was the level that we had marked out on our chart. We're seeing sellers failing to accept lower. These are all flags going off in my head saying, maybe we could start looking for a trade here. So we're down on this print right now, trading below, I'll blow this up here for you guys. Currently trading below the 35.50s. So we want to see how price reacts in this area down here to see if we want to actually initiate a trade. Now, these were sellers sitting passively on the offer, pushing price down, right? Buyers are aggressively buying this as sellers are passively holding price down, So at this point, these sellers are failing to aggressively push lower, and we're starting to get above these passive sellers, which means they have to stop out. And if they have to stop out, they're out or getting out of the trade equals a buy order, right? Their cover is a buy order. Now, the most important thing here is, like I said in our previous videos, we don't want to just trade this kind of stuff blindly. I do have a level sitting at 41.35 that we're interested in. We can actually tack that on the chart here. We'll just go to Tools, and we'll do a horizontal line, and we'll drop this in at 41.35, okay? Just so we can see this and how it plays out. I'll play this again, and we'll hit 2 or 3x speed. Here we go. Another very important thing just happened. What happened? We saw this huge shift, right? Buyers try to push price up, and we got 900 contracts sitting on the offer passively that absorbed these buyers trying to push up. This is a super key area. Where did this happen? Right at our 41.35. So what I'd be doing here on my chart is I'd be marking this area out. I'd probably be taking, I wouldn't have this line on my chart because I'd have it marked on my candlestick chart, but I would probably be taking a horizontal ray line and I'd be dropping it right on top of this guy, okay? I'll actually take this, make the line width a little bit bigger. We'll go 3, and I'd be dropping it right here. So I know this is a significant area, right? Sellers are still failing to push price lower. So at this point, I'm thinking, if sellers are failing to push price lower and buyers can actually build a position into here, I want to be buying this area somewhere for the push through the 35s. Now, these pushes through these areas typically don't just go and continue higher, right? It'll push through, it'll oscillate around, grab some more buyers, maybe trap some more sellers in this area before it wants to make that move to the upside. I'll hit play on this again. We'll go to 4x speed. We go for a drive to the upside. And you can see we get rejected. We're fluttering around this big order. The one thing that I do have in my mind is we had failed acceptance down to the lows below our level. We're essentially trapping a lot of sellers here and stopping out a lot of previous longs below some pivot lows. So this feels like a good area to get long. And this is actually exactly where we got long here. We actually added to the position, and I did miss an add on this position as well, I believe, that I will show you guys. So we can see here another passive aggressive seller steps down here to 36. We've got 1,000 contracts here. A lot of passive sellers possibly getting stuck into this area if we don't move lower. What does that equal? Possible squeeze potential, right? If buyers really grab a hold of this thing down here and want to hold price up inside of this sweep area, this could equal a potential squeeze to the upside. Now, does it have to be an insane squeeze to the upside, super violent, 30, 40 points? Nope. It can just be a squeeze just enough to flake some of these people out, maybe back into the point of controls before we actually turn around and roll over. And we'll watch how this plays out here. So sellers still struggling to hold this thing down. Price is ticking over. Buyers are actually coming in, putting a lot of pressure on this. We're doing a lot of volume on this print. We've been inside of this range for some time now. The delta is largely positive. So we have a lot of things going for our long position here, okay? A lot of things going for our long position currently. Trading under a bigger picture area, sellers failing to accept lower, positive delta. We've got sellers potentially getting stuck here. We do have good risk versus reward for at least a scalp back to the point of control and possibly a trade back to high of day. So this is an area that I would like to be long, and I was long in this area today, right here. We had to sit through some nonsense, but you know, we made it happen. Now we start seeing passive buyers coming in, 615 contracts. So this is a buyer that passively puts contracts here on the bid that sellers are trying to sell through. They can't get through him. Sellers still failing to accept through the lows, and buyers are keeping price in this area. No matter how hard these passive and aggressive sellers are trying to push price down, buyers are still keeping price within this range. The longer we stay in this range, the harder it is for these sellers to hold price down. They've pretty much blown all their ammunition here trying to hold price down. I'll speed this up a little bit here. We'll go to like 7 or 8x speed. Now at this point, all we need buyers to start accepting price up into these highs, just like they did here, okay? So buyers start accepting price up into the highs. We get into the 41s, which was first target on this trade. Point of control, great place to take a first target. Plus, what's over here? These were passive sellers that when buyers were trying to push price up, they sat on the offer, and held price down. So if price is going to turn around and actually push and break lows again, this is probably a decent area, give or take over under, to do so. Point of control. We got passive sellers that were sitting here before that likely still want to play. This is only, 20 minutes apart, 16 minutes apart. They're likely still involved in this play here. We'll pause this and I'll pull up my trade again. And we can see that on that push, which was this push right here, I took a partial right at 41, which was the area we just talked about, where those passive sellers came in, rejected the market. We had point of control sitting in here. So if this is the area that price wants to turn, I want to get some out of this. When we pulled back, I actually tried to, this is an aggressive add, especially on a move like this. It's not wrong to add, and it's not wrong not to add on this. I figured that I would just risk the money that I made to try and get an add, build a bigger position, and possibly go back to this area for another partial, and even to and through high of day, okay? We'll play this, we're on 8x speed again. We can see that the sellers are starting to put pressure down here. Buyers trying to hold the point of control, boom. Sellers push price down, price gets accepted lower. This is where I try to add, right into this area, okay? I'll slow this down just a little bit here. This is the area I was trying to add in. This was the area where there was the previous battle, this buyer, this seller, our key area. Price ended up just getting right through this area and we stopped out, which is absolutely fine. Okay. I'm going to fast forward price just a little bit more. We'll go 8x speed and let this sort of fly a little bit. So price is just flying down at this point. And I'm going to pause this. We'll check out where my other trade was. It was this guy here. So we were trading the like 27, 28 range. We were getting long 27s to the 28s. So it was sort of down in this range. We do see a buyer step in right here. Sellers, what happens? They cannot accept price lower. And by accepting price lower, I've talked about this in a previous video. Sellers push price down here. They print large negative deltas accepting price lower. Larger negative deltas accepting price lower. Larger negative deltas accepting price lower. Again, and once we print this large negative delta here, as we tick lower, they struggle to push price lower. Okay? So we'll play this, and we're on 4x speed. At the same time as sellers, here we go, hold on, excuse me, because this is the trade right here. We saw this 2,300 contracts come in. We had 676 contracts here. All of a sudden, what happened? We had a bid step up here aggressively for a large amount of contracts. That sat here and sellers sold into this bid. Now, once I see this, what do I have? I have an area that I want to play off of, okay? And what I did today, and I'll show you right now, is I took a rectangle, I dropped it right around here. I extended this rectangle to the right, and whatever platform you use or how you do it, TradingView or Quant Tower or Sierra, whatever it is. Now I've got this area marked out. This is my area of interest. What I'm thinking in my head now is if buyers hold price here and we can just start ticking back above this large order, I want to be long. Okay, I want to be long and I want to have a stop somewhere around the lows. Okay, and I want to try and get bigger in this area. My expectation is price will flutter around this area, but as soon as we start pushing away and start breaking through some new highs here, ideally, and I missed this ad, ideally I'd wait for a pullback to really get full on this trade and then get an accelerated move to the upside. Let's play this at 4x speed and see how this plays out. I do really like Sierra Chart's replay feature also. I think it works very, very well. I've been really enjoying using it and going through charts, my own trades. It's been super, super helpful. Even making these videos, I mean, just going through my own trades, it's fantastic. So we can see price try to tick down a little bit more here. We're trying to tick down a little bit more, but we just can't accept lower. And instantly price gets bought back up here. I think it was at this point I started a long position anticipating that we were going to start ticking over this 4130s with a stop at and around low of day here. So again, on this print right here, check this out. Sellers failing to accept price lower. We've got these large buying imbalances here. These are aggressive orders hitting the offer. So right now I'm thinking in my head, buyers are definitely trying to scoop up some value here at and into the lows. I want to be long here with a stop at low of day. Now we push out of this range. I'm going to slow this down. This is real market speed, real-time market speed. We've pushed above these highs. After we start our initial position, if you want to, this is the real trade in my opinion. The pullback into this area is the buy. This was the previous buyer. This is the area that we're battling right here. Any pullbacks in here that really can't eliminate this buy area with sellers aggressively accepting lower, we buy this. You see how they just can't accept price lower? This, in my opinion, is the buy here. Okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed it up a little bit. We'll go like 5x speed here. And remember, these candles, these prints, this isn't a 1 minute candle or a 5 minute candle. This is Renko, they're range base. So, one candle could be 10 minutes, 15 minutes. One candle could be 20 seconds, right? So sellers failing to accept below this buyer here. This was a great entry in my opinion. My average on this trade ended up being somewhere around the 41.29 area. with a stop down in this area. First target, let's see what it was. We'll pause this, bring this up. So the ad that I missed was somewhere in this area here. We got some off into the 4134s. We were looking for the 4135s, and then up back near those 4140s, 41s. Okay, let's minimize this. We'll hit play again. I also want to show you guys something that happened a little bit later in the day into this area as well, that I think you guys will be pretty impressed with. Hit the fast forward button. We're on like 8-9x speed right now. So sellers trying to move price lower. The bids are just holding strong. You know, aggressive sellers are kind of failing to push price lower really aggressively. They go for a little drive here, which is kind of nice. We want to see these pullbacks, possibly offering buyers more value. Our entry and our average, even if you got in here, it's never even come back to your break even at all. We're pulling back and we're sort of holding this range here where we found that battle, right? That battle happening. Buyers turn this around right away, shoot price up to the upside. We get partials into that 41.3550, which is the area we had marked out. And look, we can see there were some more people interested in this area, selling passively on the offer. These could be sellers wanting to get short at this point, whatever it is. We can see on this pullback, sellers can't accept lower, price just drives higher. As price moves up, we get our last partials out here into the 4140s, 41s. Right into this area, point of control. Buyers fail to accept higher. Sellers continue to push price lower. Now, let's slow this down a little bit. That trade is done, right? This is that drive, and we're completely out of that trade. We do know that there was a buyer in this area and a big battle in this area. So this area on the chart right here, if price comes back here, this could still be live, right? This could still be a live area. We can see sellers aggressively sitting on the offer here, trying to hold price below the point of control on the day. They're really making a serious effort here to hold price down. This 1,500 contracts would be passive aggressive sellers stepping down possibly and selling the offer to try and aggressively hold price down. We're on 5x speed. We'll let this thing play out a little bit. Price is pulling back down into our area where I had that previous buyer down at the lows where we picked up price before. Speed it up just a little bit. I could also skip candles, but I kind of want you guys to see this just like ironing itself out. I think it's pretty important to see it really play itself out. So we get back down right in here, right into our area where we had that buyer previously, right? And we're sitting right in this area again. This is the area that there was a battle previously. This is the area that there's a battle now. This buyer could still be sitting here. We don't know for sure, but this is an area of interest. We tick down. And price it's just holding. It's not holding because of magic. It's holding because there was previously an interaction here, and you get a very nice push from the 30s all the way to 5 points, just bink, right back up to point of control. So very nice little scalp trade in this area, right? Very, very nice little scalp trade up in this area. So those were all my trades for the day and how I sort of read this footprint chart going on throughout the day. We had 2 winners, 1 loser. We tried to turn this trade into a big trade. Once we got a partial on the pullbacks, we tried to responsibly get bigger. We ended up stopping out on the trade. I took a nonsense trade in this area that I didn't like, and then I started taking a trade in this area when I saw this big buyer sitting in here and sellers were failing to accept price lower. We got into a trade in this area. I did miss the ad here. Guys, we make mistakes. As the market's playing out live, we've got to interpret this information live. The more we watch it, the better we get at it. So I'm glad you guys are watching these videos, enjoying, liking, commenting, subscribing to the channel. I plan on having more of these videos coming in the future, and anything else that you guys want to see, I'm absolutely willing to do it if we do use it and we find it useful. I had a request to do a Quant Tower versus Sierra charts sort of comparison. I think I'll probably compare a few different platforms as I've cycled through a bunch of them in the past 6 months or so. Just trying them out and testing them out, figuring out what's best for me, my room, and our community, including you guys. So again, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll get back to every single comment, and we'll chat soon. Be safe on the charts. Cheers.